Both tourists and the locals alike really appreciate the recreational value that the Spring Creek offers. Has fantastic access, including relatively good access for people with disabilities, but also young families, and it's an opportunity to get kids involved in things like fishing. But aside from that, just walking tracks, cycling paths, etc. This is a major recreational hub, if you like. We have a number of vegetation communities here, so two in particular that are actually endangered in the state, so there's less than 10% of their original extent remaining. So that's the Moona woodland, or coastal alkaline scrub as it's more formally known, as well as coastal salt marsh. In the freshwater reaches of the waterway upstream from where we are at the moment, we also have a nationally listed threatened species in the growling grass frog, but also a range of broader environmental values in terms of the fish species that are here and the sort of values that they provide to the local community. The Catchment Management Authority works with a range of land managers, so both private and public. Through this campaign, what we'll be looking to do is work with Great Ocean Road Coast Committee. We'll be providing them with funding, both from the campaign but also from matching state dollars. And they'll be working with volunteer groups. So one of the things we like to do is to support local community-based volunteerism. In the case of Gork, they've got an existing program which they can extend if this program is successful, working with the local secondary school college, and that's about continuing to undertake weed control and revegetation, etc.
I run a program called the Coast Guardians program, which basically involves Year 9s who come down to the coast and get a bit of an understanding of how the ecosystems work and what sort of things are required for animals and plants to stay alive in those areas. We'll be planting plants that are Indigenous to the area. Sometimes we'll be mulching around the plants, and other times we'll be putting up the guards and providing more habitat for the frogs and the insects and the birds to lay their eggs and so forth around the edges. Some of the plants down the other end are, 7 years old, and some of the students can come back and say, I planted that 7 years ago when I was at high school at Surf Coast Secondary. So just a beautiful natural place that is so important to keep around in a large community that's developing so much. Torquay is expanding a lot, and it's really important to keep those green areas and keep them protected.
And the other major part of this initiative is trying to get some woody debris back into the waterway, particularly in the estuary, to provide better fish habitat for all of the species that are there, but in particular trying to target estuary perch as a species that seems to be underrepresented or perhaps even missing from this waterway. And we think if we can get the woody debris and the structural stuff right in the waterway, they should actually either repopulate or regenerate into a much larger population. From every dollar that's raised through the campaign, if we're successful, we'll be able to match that with state funding. Effectively, it doubles the dollars that you're able to provide. In addition to that, you should check out the website and see what perks are available, which is www.fundsforfish.com.au, to find out more about the program and to donate.